Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavir-Yankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Paramparasya Prakriteranadin Ekam Nivishtam Bahudha Guhasu Sarvalayam Sarvacharacharastham Tvamiva Vishnum Sharanam Prapadye Atmamburashau Nikhilopi Lokaha Magnopi Nachamati Nekshate Cha Ascharyametan Mrigatrishnikabhe Bhavamburashau Ramate Mrishaiva Garbhagruhavasa Sambhava Janma Jara Marana Viprayogabdhau Jagadalokya Nimagnam Praha Gurum Pranjali Shishyaha Tvam Sangha Veda Vetta Bhetta Samshaya Ganasya Ritavakta Samsararnavatarana Prashnam Pritchamyaham Bhagavan Dirghesmin Samsare Samsarataha Kasya Kena Sambandhaha Karma Shubha Shubha Paladam Anubhavati Nugata Gatairiha Kaha Karma Gunajala Baddho Jivaha Samsarati Koshakara Iva Mohandhakara Gahanat Tasya Katham Bandhanat Mokshaha Guna Purusha Vibhagagye Dharma Dharmau Na Bandhakau Bhavataha Iti Gadita Purva Vakyaihi Prakritim Purushancha Me Bruhi. We were looking at the question which the Shishya is asking to the Guru. From the question itself, we understand that the Shishya has certain understanding about the fundamental problem of a human being. The Shishya has done the analysis of this transactional world, objective world, whichever way we call it, correct, the Vyavahara, and has come to a conclusion that whatever I achieve here, it is not going to satisfy me completely. But what I really want is actually, see, anybody, if we ask them, everybody says that I want to be always happy, I want to be happy everywhere, correct? So what you are really seeking is the limitless, unqualified happiness. But the tragedy is that you are seeking that in karma phala. You achieve through karma, and that karma also has this, we already discussed in detail last time, correct? Once you accept karma, then there has to be a matrix of values based on which you do this karma, because human beings are not completely driven by only instincts. Unlike animals, we have, at least we have a semblance of free will, correct? So if there is a free will, there has to be some mechanism by which this free will is constrained or guided, we have to say. And that is our own understanding of dharma. And again, dharma is, we saw that it is samanya dharma is there, which is commonly sensed by all. And there is vishesha dharma, which is varnashrama dharma, really. Now one has to act based on all these things. And when you are acting, again, because of this matrix of values being there, if you are acting according to your own matrix of values, then you are doing the right thing. Otherwise, you are doing the wrong thing. So there is something called right and wrong in this world, which everybody senses also. It's not that you don't sense it. Although many people give an excuse that I did this without knowing that it is wrong, etc. but that is not really a defense. Even if you don't know right and wrong, as a human being, you have a responsibility to know what is right and wrong. Even if you are confused, we say there is dharma sankata, we say, correct? Even if there is dharma sankata, you have to go to your gurus, you have to go to your elders, those who are interested in only dharma. You have to go to such people, those who do not have their own axe to grind, correct? They don't have any conflict of interest. Such people you have to go. In fact, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said that dharma kama syuhu. They have to be dharma kamaha. So such people, you go to them if you have any doubt, and then get clarified what is dharma, what is adharma, and you have to do dharma. But most often we are all driven by your own likes and dislikes. So on one side you have likes and dislikes, on the other side you have a sense of what is right and wrong. Now when these two things do not sync, okay, if they are not in sync, then you have conflict. That is the conflict. In fact, human conflict is only that much. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, entire Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan talks about human being in the context of raga dvesha, which is likes and dislikes, and also there is dharma and adharma, which is there, correct? Now, human being, if you go only by your likes and dislikes, then you will end up destroying yourself. That also Bhagavan says in the Gita again, correct? ध्यायते विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषूपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. So he gives the entire sequence what can happen, because you have certain thoughts are appearing in your mind. Of course, there nobody has any control. Thoughts appear in your mind based on whatever samskaras you already have, whatever experiences you have gone through in this life. And if you are a Vaidika, we also say all the samskaras which are coming from previous janma, correct? So many countless janmas have gone, and whatever prarabdha has started this life, the karma, prarabdha karma, that karma also gives you, it comes along with the samskaras only, correct? The impressions, we can say. Samskara means whatever impressions, the tendencies with which you are there, based on that your thoughts are coming. But then whether you associate with them or not is very important. Some thoughts you have a fancy for them, correct? That is what we say fantasy. So you fantasize about certain things. That is the sangha Bhagavan is talking about. And when sangha is there, what about sangat sanjayate kamaha? Whatever you fantasize about, then you think that without that I cannot be happy. Once that thought comes, then that becomes a binding desire, correct? You have a desire, you have to get that. And once you have a binding desire, what happens? If you think I cannot be happy without that, then you are ready to cut corners. Your own idea of right and wrong, even though you know it, you keep it aside. Okay, right and wrong and all is fine, but I want this. If you do like that, then what? Kamat krodho bhi jayate. Then there can be anger also. Why? Because human beings are limited. Nobody can guarantee any results. Everywhere there is always some terms, some conditions, correct? You invest money, they say we'll give so much percentage of return and all that. But always terms and conditions, market risk is there. It is your own risk, etc. So any action you do, of course, expecting a particular result, but there is no guarantee you will get it. So if you don't get it, what happens? Krodha. If you don't get, even after you put effort, pain is there. And the expression of pain is anger. Understand that. Anger is only a symptom. Always anger points to some pain, which can be conscious or which can be in the unconscious also. Sometimes you don't even know why you are getting angry. Many people get angry, say something stupid, and then repent leisurely afterwards. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? That is because you have unconscious pain, that means. Something you picked up in childhood and you even forgot, but it is still there. That is driving you. So these things are all there. Then you have to process that. You have to put effort to heal yourself. Okay. Anyway, so the idea here is what? If you don't get whatever you desire, you can get anger. Let us say you got whatever you desired, then also there is a problem. Why? You have pride. I achieved this. I am the greatest. All that. That is also another problem. Because kama can lead to krodha, or it can lead to this mada, we say. Mada. The another problem is what? Kama can become lobha, we say. See, kama is binding desire. Lobha is the next step. It is the worst form. That is the what we call greed. When you are ready to do even adharma to fulfill your desire, then only it is greed. What is the difference between desire and greed? Means desire is still like you think, without this I cannot be happy, but at least you are willing to follow the right means for achieving whatever you want. Even after following the right means, you may not get it. Then you have pain, you have krodha and all that, like I said. But if you are if you are willing to forego right and wrong, everything, all dharma, adharma, by any means I have to get it. If you think like that, that is greed, lobha. So kama can become lobha. It is worse, in fact. Then it is more like asura, rakshasa, like that pravritti it will become. It is a pursuit of asuras or like that. They don't care about anything else. My desire I have to fulfill. That's all. My way, highway. So lobha. So once you have all this lobha, then what is it? It is all delusion only. Moha also you have. So that's why we talk six things together. Shad Ripu they are called. They are all six enemies. What are they? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So five things we have seen. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. Mada also is pride. Even if you get whatever you want, you have pride. That is a problem. Then Matsarya is worse. You wanted something, you didn't get it. Even that is fine. But then your neighbor got it. Every day you are looking at it. Then you have jealousy. That is the worst, I think. That is the Matsara or Matsarya, Asuya, we say. So you have Asuya or Matsarya. That's why the wife of Atri Maharishi is called Anasuya. She doesn't have any Asuya. She doesn't really have whatever anybody may have. She is not worried about it, or she is happy, in fact, maybe for others. If somebody can be happy for others, that person cannot be really having any jealousy, correct? So the one who has no jealousy is called Anasuya. In fact, in Tamil, they write it as Anusuya, which is wrong actually. There is no Anusuya, that is Anasuya. Asuya is not there. So the An is the negative particle. So Anasuya, you have to say. Atri Maharishi's wife. Anyway, we'll, so these six things are there. It's all human problem, human conflict. And you are operating with all these things, and you will end up only in dukkha. It is like you have put a, that's what we saw here. So one who is there in a life like this, samsarati koshakara iva, you are in a cocoon, like a, I told you, no, pupa stage. There the butterfly is there within its own cocoon. It is bound, or a spider which is bound in its own web. And what is this web or cocoon made of? Karma guna jala baddhaha. Karma and guna. Guna is the sattva rajas tamas. They are the constituents of Prakriti, we say. That is the entire world. We look at it in the form of these only. These constituents, sattva rajas tamas. In fact, here guna should not be translated as quality. Some people wrongly translate it as quality. Here guna is constituent. Okay. They are the constituents of Prakriti, and based on that only many things we talk about. Whichever one is pradhana. If sattva pradhana is there, then certain activities take place. Okay. And then if Rajah Pradhana with Sattva as the supporting, then whatever certain activities are there, you can do, that is natural to you. Like this, Bhagavan talks about Guna Karma Vibhagaha. This is also there in Gita also, correct? Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. He says, Guna and Karma Vibhaga I have done. Based on the Guna only, Karma is there. Their Guna is Sattva Rajas Tamas. And if some Guna is Pradhana, accordingly the Karma is there. Okay, if Sattva Guna is Pradhana, then Satyam, Tapas, all these things we have to do. You lead a life of austerity, all that. If Rajas is Pradhana, then like Kshatriya Dharma and all that. Okay. And Rajas Pradhana with Tamas as the supporting, then you are into all kinds of whatever. Vaishya Karma and all Bhagavan says. If Tamas is Pradhana, then Shudra Karma he says. So like this, based on this Guna and Karma, you have certain natural tendencies and you are bound by that only, by that natural tendencies. And if you keep doing things within that boundaries, in that bondage, then you are living in darkness only because you are suffering. Any karma phala, you always get it with dukkha only. Any sukha in the world is dukkha mishrita, we say. Any any happiness, joy you get, it is also tinged with some, or it is tainted with suffering, because you have to lose something to gain something. And even after gaining something, you have difficulty maintaining it. And even if you maintain very well, one day it will go away. You cannot stop all these things. Correct? So, that is how it is. So, you cannot do anything about it. And that's why all these are alpa. It is said in the Upanishad also, any karma phala is alpa. It is all limited and it will only lead you to dukkha, suffering. And but you still are there in that only because you don't know how to get out. That's why he says mohandakara gahana. It is moha and andhakara, delusion, or moha eva andhakara also you can say here. This delusion is the darkness in which you are there. It is dense darkness and you don't know where, you don't know any direction also, where to go. That's why it is called gahana. So from this, how do I get moksha is what the question was. Okay. And then further he is asking, he's showing some idea about his own knowledge also here. So further he says, Guna Purusha Vibhagagne Dharma Dharmau na Bandhakau Bhavataha. So if one is Guna Purusha Vibhagagnaha, means what? Nyaha means one who knows. What does he know? He knows the Vibhaga, the distinction between what? Guna and Purusha. Guna here is again three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, which is Prakriti. Prakriti is constituted of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. When these three are in equilibrium, there is no Srishti, it is said. The Srishti is not there. Then it is Laya. That is what is called Laya. But when the equilibrium is disturbed, who disturbs it means we say Ishvara only disturbs it. Why? Because by disturbing that only Ishvara can create. And why should Ishvara create? Does Ishvara have any desire? Ishvara doesn't have any desire. He is creating so that you can undergo your own karma phala. Correct? You can undergo your own karma phala. So Ishvara has to create so that you can exhaust your karma. And to exhaust your karma, two things are required. One is the loka, different experiences you have to undergo. Correct? So for that the external world is required. And then all the jivas require their own upadhi, because jiva identifies with a particular body mind sense complex. So in different lokas, Ishvara has to create different bodies in which the jiva can be the experiencer and experienced world also he creates so that you experience it and exhaust your karma. So otherwise Ishvara has no interest in creating anything. In fact, he is not the creator. He says, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhashaha tasya kartaram api Mam Vidya Akartaram Avyayam, Bhagavan says. Even though I created all these things, I really did not create anything. I am not any creator or anything. Why? Because it is like we say sun is lighting up everything in this world, correct? The whole world is functioning because of sun, we can say. Without sun, without day and night, without sunlight, nothing can happen in the world. So we can impute an agency to sun. That it is the one which is lighting up everything, which brightens up everything, and therefore all activities are happening due to sun. You are attributing that to the sun. Okay, that is fine. So from that standpoint, you can say sun is the one who has created all the activities here. Everything is happening due to sun. But you go to the sun and ask, did you do anything? Means it says, no, I did not do anything. Because sun's very nature is to be bright, to give out light. It did not do anything really. It is being itself. By its mere presence, everything is happening. So from its own standpoint, sun has not done anything. That's how you can understand this, correct? Bhagavan, if you look at Bhagavan in his own Swarupa, there is no Kartritvam, there is no Bhoktritvam, there is no change. That's why he says, I am Avyayaha. I don't change at all. Without changing myself in any manner, still this creation has come up. This is what we call Vivarta in the Shastra. Okay. See, to create something, you can take a Karana and modify it. Like you take milk and produce curd. Now, what happens if you create like that? This in Sanskritam we call it Swarupa Parityagena Rupantara Apattihi, we say. Means you give up your own Swarupa, your nature, and become something else. The milk gives up its nature and becomes curd. That is the Parinami Upadana, we say, or it is you create something by modifying something. But then there is another thing called Vivarta. And here also we give two different levels of examples or analogies for you to understand. In Vivarta, Swarupa Aparityagena Rupantara Apattihi. One does not give up one's nature, but still becomes something, produces something. Like the gold becomes bangle, but it is still gold. It has not lost its Swarupa. But even here, some activity and all is required, correct? You have to heat up the gold, heat it, whatever. The jeweler knows that, what to do. So some activity is still involved, some change is involved, you can say. That is why we give another analogy. What is that? Rope becoming snake, shell becoming silver. Now shell is there, it doesn't do anything, but then silver appears. It's only an appearance. Like this, without giving up one's nature, without doing anything, one becomes an adhisthana for some adhyaropa, some superimposition, some appearance. Like that only Bhagavan says, this world I have created, but know that I did not do anything. And whatever is there is for the jivas to enjoy their karma. That karma part is already we saw, correct? In the first question only he asked, what is the, who is undergoing all these things? Who is coming? Who is going? Who is taking up birth? Who is dying? What is the connection between that person and the karma which is giving good and bad, etc. Correct? See, karma shubha shubha paladam anubhavati gata agataihi iha kaha. Who is the person who comes, enjoys the results of action and collects more results also, correct? While enjoying, you do more karma, you again accumulate. It is a never ending process, correct? That is why it is called dirgha. So this vicious cycle, you are stuck. But then those who know the reality of this, we say guna purusha vibhagajnaha. Those who know the reality of this guna, and the purusha is what? The one who is experiencing the nature, the very nature of the person who is experiencing this, one who does discriminates. That is the vibhaga. In Tamil, we say paguttarivu. Paguttarivu is a misused word nowadays. It is associated with people who don't have any paguttarivu, really speaking. But anyway, so the discriminate viveka jnana, otherwise we have to say vibhaga jnana is really viveka jnana. You discriminate, you see distinctively the nature of two things. Guna means it is basically constituents of prakriti, and prakriti is the one which is acting, which is doing everything. Purusha is asanga, we say. Purusha is not really connected to all these things, but still there is ignorance, there is delusion. That is why you become connected. So what is this connection and what is this delusion? In fact, very easily we can understand. See, one of the rules, the fundamental principle in Vedanta is what? Whatever is a object of my cognition, correct, is not I. Whatever is an object of my knowledge, okay, whatever I know is not I. Otherwise, in simple language, I have to say, whatever I know as this is not I. Because I is the subject always. This cannot be I. Now, in this, let us say there is some object like this. Okay. This is not I. Nobody has any confusion. So many objects are there. This phone is there. Nobody says I am phone. Because phone is something I know as an object. No confusion. Then let us take this cloth. Okay. It is very near my, it is on my body, correct? I have put this cloth on my body. Still there is no confusion. Nobody says I am the Uttariyam. I am this cloth. There is no confusion. Let us take the specs. I am not this, even though the specs is useful for me to see. Without that, in fact, okay, I can still read, but not it's not very clear. I have to focus and whatever. After some time, I'll get headache most probably. So it helps me, but still I don't say I am my spectacles. I am spectacles. There is no confusion. But as soon as the skin starts, correct, then you say I. How is this I? This is also an object of knowledge, correct? You know your body, but then you do vyavahara. I am tall, I am short, I am having gray hair. Some people have complex. I have, my hair is becoming gray. It is not dark, black. My skin is dark, brown, white, whatever. Either you have some complex based on that. So the body becomes I, even though it is a known object, correct? Whatever I know cannot be I. That means how can I be this body? Even if it is not I, mama, my body is still there. Because, of course, in your experience, you are only operating within your body, correct? With your body only you are operating. So my body problem is there. That is another thing. But at least you should understand, I am not the body is very clear, correct? This Viveka Jnana is there. Or it can come if you analyze like this. But still very difficult to get out of habitually identifying with your body. Because you have been doing that For how many janmas we don't know, and in this janma you have been doing from the time of the birth of this body, you have been identifying with that. But I cannot be the body because it is also I know the body. What about all the physiological processes, hunger, thirst? So many things are happening in your body. I am aware of that also. It is also object of my knowledge. So I cannot be the prana also. Whatever is happening in the body, all that I am aware. What about my indriya? Because based on my eyes, I say I am blind, or I have 20, whatever, 6 by 6 they call it, correct? So what that vision I have, so I see very well, or I am blind. I hear very well, or I am deaf. So based on the indriyas, you have identification. Based on prana, you say I am hungry, I am thirsty. But hunger and thirst are all known to you. It cannot be I. Then intellect also, buddhi. That is the most subtlest, very difficult to do Viveka here. Bhashyakara says. Shankara, who we call Bhashyakara, he writes in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Bhashya, it is very difficult to do Viveka between buddhi and Atma. That's why it is called Vijnana Mayaha. Like that, a word is used there. So when he is explaining that, he says, because that awareness is manifest in your buddhi, correct? In your mind and buddhi. But even there, what? All the thoughts in your mind are known to you. You are only seeing all that. That means, but you associate yourself with your own thoughts, correct? I am angry, I am sad, I am suffering, everything, or I am knowledgeable, I am idiot, I am ignorant. All these things are also there based on your mind, buddhi. So you associate yourself with your emotional states. You associate yourself with knowledge, ignorance, etc. And you also associate yourself with enjoyment, correct? Joy, suffering. But all these things are known to you. It is all object of knowledge. Means I am only the one to whom everything becomes evident. I am that conscious being to whom everything becomes evident. None of the things which becomes evident to me can be put in the category of I, correct? This is what we call Atma Anatma Viveka. This is a very basic thing. You have to keep on doing this. As a student of Vedanta, what should I do every day? Every minute, every moment means do Atma Anatma Viveka. Because that habitual tendency to identify with all these things is so strong. You have to keep doing it till the time the other identity becomes natural. Till when should I do this means keep on doing. That's it. You will know. You won't ask the question. In fact, once you know till when I should do means, like today, if I ask you who are you, everybody says I am so and so. I am the son of this person. I have a gender. I have this body, etc. So that identity is so natural. Even if you are sleeping, dense sleep, you are there. I wake you up and ask who are you. You have an identity. There is no doubt. Like that, it has to become sahaja. You do atma anatma viveka all the time. Because all these things I see, they are all made up of gunas. Understand that. But I am the Purusha. Purusha is the conscious person. The word Purusha itself is very interesting, correct? Puri Shayanat Purushaha. One Vyutpatti or one derivation of the word Purusha is the one who is sleeping in the Puri or fort. Even in the Gita, this imagery is given, correct? Navadware Pure Dehi Naiva Kurvanna Karayan. So this Atma is the Purusha who is there in the fort with 9 entrances. Navadwaras are there in the body, correct? You can count all these 2 eyes, 2 noses, all that. If you count, you can count 9 dwaras are there. But then within that, this Atma, the conscious being, is sitting. In reality, it is not doing anything. Naiva kurvan na karyan. It is not doing anything. It is not make anybody else also do anything. But then you identify ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha, he says. But this ignorance is covering this reality. Therefore, you are deluded and you do things. You think you are doing things. And then you start either enjoying or suffering and all that. That is also a problem. That is the problem, in fact. That is the moha. So, to get out of that moha, you require jnanam. That is why you are attending this class, correct? Jnana is the only solution because this is a problem of ignorance. If my fundamental problem is ignorance, the only solution is jnana, knowledge. It is not doing something, it is to gain knowledge. And that is the vibhaga jnaha. This discriminatory knowledge you have to gain. So that much understanding the student has. So he says, the one who understands this distinction between guna and purusha, the conscious being and the not conscious or insentient objects of cognition, correct? The cognizer, who is the conscious being, and objects of cognition, which are all made up of different gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, prakriti, we call it. The prakriti purusha vibhaga jnana, one who has, that person is not bound by dharma and adharma. Dharma, adharmauna bandhakau bhavataha. For him, this dharma and adharma are not a bondage. Why? You are bound only if you identify with the activities of the gunas, the prakriti. So, this guna and karma, in that you are not getting caught up. So, in fact, in the Gita, Bhagavan says, Prakrite kriyamanani guneshwarvani kar. This, all this karma are all done by Prakrite kriyamanani. Prakriti is doing. I am not really connected to any of these things. But the one who does not have this knowledge, he is bound. He thinks I am doing. So he is saying dharma dharmauna bandhakau bhavataha iti. So I have heard this. For the student now what? I have heard the one who has this knowledge of distinction of Prakriti and Purusha. For him there is no karma. Because you are not a karta. Understand this. How do I burn all my karma? Till the time you think you are a karta, you cannot do anything. You will only have more and more karma. In fact, thinking that I am a karta, you can do prayaschitta also. Correct? So much of prayaschitta is said even in our dharma shastras, or you go to any jyotishi, you have a lot of problems in life. So you go, astrologer, please help me see what is there in my horoscope. Then they will say, okay, you do this parihara because right now some Shani Dasha is there, Rahu Dasha is there, or whatever, even it need not be even Dasha. Bhukti is enough, or Antar Bhukti and all that. So some time is happening. So till this, before this time you do this, then it will be okay. I think that is okay. See, you are still a samsari. Within that you are still trying to get some relief at least. So you can do prayaschitta, nothing wrong. So we have in our tradition the idea of a prayaschitta where you prayaschitta is like a neutralizing karma, correct? Because your life has already started with prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is like the mukta issue, we say. Means you have already sent the arrow from the bow. Means it has already started with some momentum, correct? Some force. That is the prarabdha karma. Now, if you don't do anything, it will go and hit something, correct? That is what is happening in most people's lives. You don't do any, you don't do any punya, you don't do daily prayers, you don't do anything. And then this, whatever, papa is fructifying, all dukkha, suffering, crying, but you still have agency. you can do something. That's why everyday prayers is important. Every day we have to do Nitya Karma, Naimitika Karma, we say. Nitya Karma is very important. Because every day, what is the Sankalpa? Mama Upatta Durita Kshaya Dwara, we say. Shri Parameshwara Prityartham also we add. As though Parameshwara requires your karma. It's not like that. But still, we say that. But most importantly, Durita Kshaya. Your own Durita, Papa, you want to get rid of. Correct? That's why we do all the prayers, all the puja, everything. Nitya Karma you have to do. Whatever is mandated for you, you do that. That's all Prayasita also. Or special Prayasitas are all given. You do that. But the greatest Prayasita is what means Atma Jnanam. In fact, that is why there is this Apastamba Dharma Sutra is there. Okay. Yes, in South India, most of you may be Apastamba Sutra followers, correct? Because there are a lot of Yajurvedis, Krishna Yajurvedis, and most of them follow the Apastamba Dharma Sutra. And Adi Shankara is supposed to have been a follower of Apastamba Dharma Sutra. Okay, that is what at least we believe. Why? Because he has written a commentary on one small portion of this Apastamba Dharma Sutra in the tradition, and even scholars and all accept that. Shankara has written a commentary, not for the entire Dharma Sutra that another person has written, but Shankara has written one portion in that is called this thing, Adhyatma Patala, it is called. Okay, so even in the Dharma Sutra, Apastamba Rishi is talking about Adhyatma Patala. Is Adhyatma, about the Jnanam with reference to this Atma. He is talking about that. But where did he put that section? Very interesting. At the beginning of the Prayaschitta, whatever, Prakarana. Because initially he talks about all sorts of wrongs you can do. All sorts of adharma one can do. He is saying different things he is listing. Then he has to list the Prayaschitta for all of them. But in between he puts this Adhyatma Patala, right in the beginning of the Prayaschitta Prakarana. The section where he is talking about all this Prayaschitta, this neutralizing karma, the first thing he puts is this Adhyatma Patala. Why? Bhashyakara there, Shankara, when he introduces, he says, because there is no greater Prayaschitta than Atma Jnanam. Why? Atma Jnanam alone will free you from all karma, not any particular karma. See, all other Prayaschitta will still leave you as only a samsari. That is why it is no good going for some miracle and all that. Understand that. Many people are attracted by miracles nowadays. Not only nowadays, always I think. He cured my disease, this disease, that disease. Okay. Even if somebody really does miracle and cures you of some disease, it is useless. Because you are still a person who is going to die, correct? You are still a mortal. You are still a samsari. What good is that miracle? Your fundamental problem is not solved even after the miracle. What miracle is that? In fact, if you read our Puranas, Ramayana, Itihasa and all that, even all these Asuras and Rakshasas are doing a lot of miracles, correct? Indrajit was doing so much Maya, he is Ravana himself can do. So what is the big deal? The greatest miracle is this jnanam, which frees you from your kartritvam itself. You are not a karta, you are not a bhokta. Then where is the question of any karma? So Bhagavan says, Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute. For one who has jnanam, all karma is burnt. The jnanagni, the fire of knowledge, burns all karma. Why? Because you are not even a karta. Where can you have any karma? So that's how he is bandhakau na bhavataha. These two, this dharma and adharma, bhavataha is dual case. Okay, in Sanskritam, we have dual case also, unlike other languages where you have only singular and plural. Anyway, so they do not become a bondage. Iti, so thus I have heard, he says. So now I have asked all these questions, so many questions are there. Gadita Purva Vakyehi, whatever in the Purva Vakya I have said. Based on this, now you teach me. What about Prakritim Purusham cha me bruhi? Now you tell me what is this Prakriti, what is this Purusha? Because finally what he has said, Guna Purusha Vibhagajnaha means Prakriti Purusha Vibhagajnaha. One who knows the distinction between Prakriti and Purusha only gets freed from all karma, gets moksha, is freed from bondage. I have heard that. So now based on all these things, whatever I have said previously, now teach me about this Prakriti and Purusha. So like this, the Sishya has asked. Now what does the Guru say? Guru, who is the Guru here? Guru is Adi Sesha. So ityadharo Bhagavan Prishtaha Shishyena tam sahovacha Vidushamapi ati gahanam vaktavyam idam shrinu tathapi tvam. So iti adharaha. Adharaha means Adi Sesha is the adhara. Correct for even Bhagavan Vishnu. That's why he is called Bhagavan Adharaha. Adi Sesha has been asked like this by Sishya Prishtaha. He was asked, then what? By the Shishya, Shishyena. Then he tells them, Tam Sahovacha. He told him. What did he say? Vidushamapi ati gahanam. Those who think they are panditas, scholars, even for them, this ati gahanam, it is very difficult to understand. Okay, this knowledge is subtle. It is unlike any other knowledge. That is why it is ati gahanam. It is secret. It is hidden. In fact, in the 9th chapter of Gita, it is called Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. It is Raja Guhyam. Guhyanam Raja. Correct? So, this knowledge is very, very subtle. It is Susukma and all it is called. It is Sukshma. But still I will tell you, Idam Shrinu Tathapitvam, he says. You now listen to this, whatever I am going to say, listen. So why does the Guru say listen? Because to bring your attention, hey, listen to this, don't let your mind wander. Focus on what I say. Try to understand that, assimilate that, because Shravanam is the main thing for us. Listening to the Shastra from Guru is the Sakshat Karanam for Moksha. That is the Sakshat Karanam. Although we say Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, like that is said in the Upanishad. These are the three means for gaining knowledge. And one has to do Shravanam, one has to listen to the Guru. That is the main thing for us. Why? Because the words of the Guru are like the mirror. Understand that the words of the Guru are the mirror in which you see yourself, your own reality. That's because you cannot see it any other way. Because you are the seer. The seer cannot objectify himself or herself and see, correct? There is no way. The eyes cannot see itself. So what do you do if you want to know the color of your eyes? What do you do? There is nobody else also. Okay. If somebody else is there, you can ask. That's a different thing. Then you need a reflecting surface. You need a mirror to as though objectify that which cannot be objectified. Correct? Yes. Here, whatever we are trying to teach you can never become an object. But still, I have to teach you that, and only through words. That is the magic here. That is the magic of Vedanta. So we'll continue this magic in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.